John Edwards for Griffin's TV, alongside the athletic director from Vianney High School, Terry Cochran. And Mr. Cochran, how are you doing today?
Doing well, John. Thank you.
Uh, Unusual set of circumstances. I hope you and your family are doing well. What have you been doing during this time for the past month in which we haven't been able to get together?
Yeah, it's been different. It's just a different type of leading from a distance. Trying to stay connected with our coaches, who I know are staying connected with our student athletes. I have been in touch with my colleagues from different schools, really on a daily basis of when it comes to canceling events. But the big thing is what we're doing in our positions is really looking for the future and the near future, and then the future out to next year of what can we do to support and celebrate our seniors this year. And the timing, we really don't know what that looks like, but also setting things up for the next school year and what that is going to look like.
Yeah, recently Misha came out with a statement last week. Executive Director Kerwin Erhan canceled spring sports. And I know for a lot of our student athletes who participate in the spring, it's been a major letdown from here this spring.
Yeah, it really has. And only the good Lord knows what could have happened. But when you look at our spring teams, we felt very confident in the success of those teams. Baseball, we had some good combinations coming back. Volleyball, we felt very confident in what they had the capability of doing. Our golf team, again, was going to return some key people. And even though we were going to be in a challenging district, we felt very confident that we could compete there. Track kind of has a new energy about them, and they got some things going on in their program. Tennis was working hard, and we had some seniors that we felt were going to be able to compete at a higher level. And then lacrosse, that is, they've been working hard for many, many years, but this is kind of one of those teams that it was a culmination of a lot of talent, a lot of experience, a lot of hard work that was going in. So our spring season, we were excited about it. There could have been a lot of neat things going on. And again, it takes a lot to win a state championship, but I wouldn't have been surprised if we could have got one or maybe multiple state championships this spring.
That would have been building off of what happened finishing up with winter sports and the hockey championship.
Yes. And again, we talked about that early on when hockey was going through their run, knowing that they had an opportunity to win. We thought, man, we could keep this thing going because we knew what was going to happen in the spring with some of our programs. So to me, that's really the disappointing thing. I think the energy that was around it, our coaches have worked hard all winter long, preparing our guys. Our guys were doing all the right things to have a very prosperous spring. And again, no one's fault, but you look at a situation like this and you're not going to get this time back, and no one will really know what could have happened.
This past year, we started out the beginning of the 2019-2020 season with renewed energy with the football program, and Chad Masters taking over this spring. Soccer made another successful run. Basketball continues to improve. One of the most odd years for basketball. I had talked with Kevin Walsh about it, and not having a senior on his team. Things for Vianney athletics continue to move in the right direction.
Yeah, we really are. And we define our successes sometimes differently than other people, and we feel that our program is going in the right direction. You mentioned football, soccer, swimming. We had Logan Schaefer, as a state qualifier. Our cross country team was young. Wrestling. Again, we had two seniors, and one of them was hurt most of the year, and one of them was his first year wrestling. So our wrestling program really have taken major steps forward. And then you mentioned basketball without a senior and the work that they did and will continue to do. So When you talk about the adults in the program, talk about our student athletes, we are very pleased with the direction of our athletic program.
Not only do these student athletes, and one of the things that I'm always amazed by is the fact that our student athletes aren't just the athletic side, because they really excel in the classroom. And a lot of these student athletes wind up getting scholarships moving forward, whether it be academically or athletically.
Yeah, our guys, like most guys, they want to go on and play at the next level. But what is so neat is that is really not their priority. Their priority is to get an education and to be more successful at the next level in college academically. And they will continue to work hard athletically, but that academic piece is really, really important to them. And they're using the athletic piece uh, kind of as a support system to go through all the things that they go through and the challenges and the successes. Uh, but that's just kind of a stepping board for their academics. And our guys are realistic where they are. And we have some guys that are going on to play at major Division I schools, and we have some guys that are going on to play at Division III schools. And I really am impressed by the reality of our families, that they know and their parents know where they belong. And sometimes that's difficult for people to get them to understand. But our guys are pretty realistic about their ability.
You talk about that challenge that families have knowing where their sons kind of move, where they should move forward. And as an athletic director, I know that's an undaunting task, because I'm sure you have those conversations as well as the coaches in trying to keep things realistic for them.
Yeah, we do. And it is hard. And again, we want them to want to be the best and to play at the highest level that they can. But we also, a big thing that for us is the experience. We want them to have a good experience at that next level. And we want to put them in a situation where they're going to use their gifts and talents to play. And, again, a lot of our guys think that they can play at a higher level, but when it's all said and done, I think they realize the level that they choose is going to be really, really good for them, both academically, athletically, socially, and it's going to be the total package. And they'll have a good experience in the 4 years that they play in college.
Moving forward with not really knowing what is going to happen over the next weeks, maybe even months, for you, how does an athletic program move forward planning for the 2021 season?
Yeah, great question. Uh, and there are so many unknowns. I was in a meeting today with our league athletic administrators, and uh, we need to move forward like we are going to have a season in August, but knowing that there might not be able to be 1,000 people in the football stands. There's going to be some things that are different with the venues, but we are moving forward as normal. But also in the back of our minds, trying to create some questions of what if this happens, what if that happens. So it's really been good for us, and we are really taking the optimistic approach of we're going to learn and grow through this and become better. Our families will be better. Our student athletes will be better because of this. But we have to have that vision out there, kind of like we've never had before. And we're thinking about things that we've never had to think about. But we do believe that we will be better because of this.
Does what's happening now become the new normal, in which there could be scenarios in which games could be played in front of limited fans? I know I was at some district final basketball in which teams were only allowed to bring 30 fans into a gym.
Yeah, I think that that is going to be a big thing. I think one thing you're going to see a lot, and it might just be a natural movement of people separating themselves in the stands and not sitting as close as they normally would. And whether that's dictated by the local schools, the government, or just the individual parties themselves, uh, the big thing that we're hopeful for is that we're able to get them in there, and then what do we do with our fans while they're in there is going to be a big thing, because this is going to come back slow. This is not going to come back where you're just going to start packing the stadiums, because people just aren't going to feel comfortable doing that, and so it's going to be a little different for us. I think we're going to have to use more of our venues, and everybody's not going to be sitting at midfield or half court. They're going to be spread out throughout the venues, which, again, getting them in there is going to be important. It might just be a different look when they're in there.
Someone who's been around athletics for a very long time, the question I have to ask you is this, moving away from the high school sports, is do you see pro sports such as basketball and baseball, hockey, seasons that are almost completed or near completion? Do you see them picking up a season at any point in time in the near future just to get it done, or do you just see it kind of ending the way it does and starting anew in the fall again?
Yeah, no one has the answer for that, but I think they're going to try to play, and I think watching it on TV or some type of live stream is going to be the new norm. I don't see, again, people getting into those venues. I do believe that they are going to try to have some type of entertainment for us, but I don't think it's going to be in person. I think it's going to be via watching it on a screen and watching it on your computer, and it's going to be a whole lot different.
I know that there was plans to do some renovations of some of our facilities within athletics and rebuilding some of our locker rooms. How is that going to move forward with everything that's happening right now?
Yeah. So right now, the plan is to move forward with that. The one thing that we wanted it to be completed by the first day of school. It's going to be more challenging to do that now. So that's the next thing that we have to think about is what type of interruption is that going to cause, and when can we get started? The school is very committed to doing this. If we have to wait a year so we don't have a major interruption, we will do that, but there still is a commitment to complete that project.
Terry, I always appreciate a few minutes of your time. I know that it's an awkward time for everybody, especially for you, because usually at this point in time of the year, I see you flying up and down around campus on your golf cart, going from lacrosse over to baseball, back into the field house for volleyball, maybe headed out to the golf course to see what's going on out there. So I'm sure this is a very awkward time for you.
Yeah, it really is. I'm a relationship person. I'm a people person. I love being around people. One of the enjoyments that I get is to watch our guys compete. To me, that's one of the biggest things is I don't get to witness that now. I don't get to interact with the parents. And it is hard and it's different. And again, it's just a challenge of trying to find different ways to do that. But when you don't have a season, you're pretty limited. And I hope this is short-lived. I hope we never go through this again because we really miss the experience of our guys.